In this video, I would like to talk about the feeling that's creeping under my skin, and I guess I'm becoming more and more aware over time, and that is, if I was to frame it as kind of general phoniness, false authenticity, pretentious self, I don't know. I'll elaborate on that to try to pin it down with several examples. So I'll start first with cars. That's my favorite topic, I guess. And I guess there is several types of car people, and there always have been. But lately I feel like cars have become such a weird niche that people project very strange things into. I always assumed in my own way that car people are just, people who like to understand how things work, who are curious, who like to tinker, and who like to push, engineering to its limits. Whether it's practicality, speed, whatever, like durability, off-roading, just the task assigned to the vehicle. And I always admired how different types of vehicles excel in different things. But now being a car person is basically this Instagram type of people who don't really care how car works, what's going on under the hood, what's the mechanical components doing, what their role is, how they function. Everything has become kind of superficial, and what matters to these car people that you might find on social media is the cost. How much is it? Like, the more expensive, the better. The brand, right? There's like a ladder of brands, and just according to the brand and the city, you're showing where you're on the ladder of this imaginary scale of success you are. And it obviously attracts people who are not interested in the car, the automotive itself. It's just the clout that comes with certain products in the automotive. And I just feel like it ruins the whole taste of it all, and kind of like, how do I put it? I don't want to say infected, but just disharmonize somehow the car culture, because there's something about when you're going on a historical car historical vehicles meeting, and there's just these guys who like enjoy the car. They probably bought it as a pile of rust, put it together in garage in their free time. They tinkered, what works better for the car with the development that has come under the sun over the period of time that the car has been rusting. Somebody does it stock, somebody just tries to, better it up than it was before. Different types of approaches. You see the passion for the build rather than for the look what I have. And you see this, I don't know how to put it, very humanity in the people, and how can they exchange real talk about how much effort did it take, how much time, and there's this you could say sacrifice put into it in a good way. And that's just something you don't find in these in the category of the cloud chasers who just get the latest German car, some exotic Italian car, and just show off. And they don't really care what, maybe they've learned what V8, V10 means, so they say, oh, well, this is V8, this is V10, and they don't really dig deeper into understanding what that actually provides as something that doesn't have that type of engine. And these people cannot find appreciation in something simpler. I can appreciate very much a car for having certain type of solution that just it does not appear on different cars, and it makes the car super durable or super long lasting. Different things. I could relate this topic to maybe a Formula One. I think since it's found its way on the streaming services, it somehow attracted some strange crowds, I would say. There's this popularization of that sport and commercialization, and suddenly everybody's Formula One fan, even though the real Formula One fans are actually like saying this is not Formula One anymore, because the engines are exactly not V10 and so on anymore. It's just this weird electric controlled stuff. People are not really feeling the rawness, and that's what that sport was about. It was the raw things. So again, it's attracting these people who just want to be seen as in this, modern circus that's fancy, that attracts celebrities. They just want to be somehow attached to this cloud, and so on and so forth is the thing now. Another thing I could add as a pilot, private pilot, aviation. I think I've talked about it in one of my, rides in my car. People, just absolutely in enormous need to fly private jets or private even turboprop engine planes, just show that they can be passenger on something that's not an airline, with having no passion for planes, for types of planes, high wing, low wing, twin engine, single engine, blah blah blah. I could go on. Retracting gear, not retracting gear. They don't care about this. They just want to be, walking on those stairs into the airplane with the photo, and it's just, I guess, because I'm into all these hobbies, I feel like I don't have so much in common with the people who are meant to be the people representing these things, because it really just got stuffed with kind of phoniness and weird cloud chasing. And the thing is that in many things it even negatively impacts prices of old vehicles. Like now that it's become this thing to chase, historical cars were not such unattainable thing. It was hobby of some weirdos, if I may say. Sorry, but now it's this chasing, like it was cars that nobody wanted, right? It was this outdated stuff, and now that it's been subliminally put in the general subconsciousness that it's something to be looked at and looked upon, and that's rare, the rarity. Suddenly again this phoniness found its own way. They are not into the cars, into the whatever the car people originally are into. They just want to be the possessors of something. I'm not sure how real this study is. I read it somewhere. I didn't confirm it, so you can do it for yourself. But I read somewhere that majority of female travelers travel just to be taking picture of somewhere, rather than for the traveling itself and experiencing the newness and growing and enriching themselves. It's really for this self-centered cloud, making, I guess, other people jealous or what. And I just feel like this has so little understanding on my part. Perhaps in past I was under the same spell to a certain degree, I can't tell. But I'm in my 30s, early 30s, and these things really faded off me, and it means nothing to me. And it kind of makes me feel a little bit outcast, a little bit estranged, a little bit different, a little bit set apart from everyone, a little bit misunderstood and awkward, I would say even. I mean, there's still plenty, as I said, amazing, car guys, motorcycle guys, pilots, and so on. But you really have to have a filter and poke people a little bit here and there to find out what they're about. And most of the times, I have to say, it's really just the different type of drive that drives them than what drives me. Like to fly, it doesn't drive me to fly to look, see me, I'm in plane. What drives me to fly is because it's amazing. It's the most wonderful thing you can do. Sit in an airplane, take off and fly your own self and go on a trip and see those beautiful views and then see your own home from sky and so on. It's just wonderful. And then you land the plane and you feel such amazing satisfaction, and you've learned something, you know, you got maybe a little bit of wind turbulences somewhere, so it's just you respect the nature, you constantly like in weird harmony with yourself and with your surroundings and so on. Same on motorcycle. It's not this you know, look at me how fast I can go. It's, for me, it's look how out of anybody's sight I can go and just enjoy a slow ride as I'm in the wood and I feel the cold of the forest in the summer, and I smell somebody's lunch when I'm passing through a village, and I you know, just experience these sensory things directly. So I guess what sets me apart is this no need. I feel the pressure. I just refuse to resist in this regard, what I'm going to talk about. I made the other month video that I refused to buy a new car, and I really notice driving this older car, which totally suits me. I mean, everything's perfect. I feel the weird light it sheds on me among all these different new car owners or leasers or drivers or whatever. But the thing is, I know why I'm doing it. I know exactly what decision behind this. I know exactly why I am on this page. And I am mostly certain that these people are not aware of about what they're doing. And stories support many stories from people who say what they encounter dealing with people who buy these cars as they repair them and so on, support my view, because again, what's the biggest drive they don't want to? What's the biggest drive? Why they don't want to drive what I drive? They want as much clout as they can afford from a car, right? That's what people do. You basically correlate your a little bit above your means as much as you can with the car that corresponds to it. That's the world we live in. Everybody's pushing to the edge when it comes to this. Very few people are really reasonable and not driven by emotions. And I've really started noticing how many people live too much above their means. You can get, you know, a monthly payment car. You can be decently modern. You can sign lease for I don't know how long, with I don't know how many miles they can drive. But certainly these are already things that are turn off for me. For somebody to tell me how far I can drive for a car that I'm paying, but for me to be obliged to, you know, explain myself to anybody how I drive a car, that's already like such a red flag for me. But I guess people are willing to compromise on this as long as their appearances are not something inferior which they wouldn't be able to handle and face. But, you know, meeting the requirements of the monthly payment is really like the first step, because eventually you will be insuring the car, you'll be changing the tires, you'll be doing oil changes, you'll be doing so on and so forth. I mean, some leases have it included, but it's a whole different price tag. And from what I see, you know, people are really usually worried about every scratch on these cars. A little bit overly paranoid when it comes to, you know, cars. Because there's just so much on the line for them when it comes. They've signed contract and then they have responsibilities for something that's not their own, and that all is just to have a little bit more shiny same thing. Or there's this selective niche from time to time that, nobody pays attention to, nobody cares, only some few, admirers, long-term admirers of it exist, and then suddenly some celebrity or somehow by a strange series and chain of consequences, a spotlight is put on that very thing. Now it's trend, now everybody wants it, and it can be something that nobody would look at. It was frowned upon, it was mocked, and suddenly it's the thing. And it always makes me wonder, like, why people really these opinionless, empty shells that they just wait to be told what they ought to like. So another example to what I was talking would be a fashion. It's really crazy how people are just not self-aware what suits them and what doesn't suit them. It doesn't matter what's trending. There are certain things that look good on me, and there are certain things that I look like a clown in. And some people just don't have this distinction, and they just go with whatever, that summer, that winter, blah, blah, blah. Now everybody has the same jacket, everybody has the same shoes, everybody's just going with what's trendy. And that to me is really like the most alarming thing in people. How can you not be you to this kind of level? How do you have to have this need to fit in and to be validated? And then the same people will shout loudest how they are not sheep, they are setting themselves apart from the fools and crowds and I don't know, but you just see them saying the same thing in the same uniform that the rest is doing and wearing and saying. And there's really this, I don't know how to put it, there's this trend of authenticity, trend to be authentic, and people are pretending to be authentic therefore. Or with tech, nobody really cares about tech anymore. Tech was really like techie guys, nerds, people just studying numbers and processors and how many nanometers does it have and how many, transistors, Nobody cares about it. They care about, is it the orange iPhone? Like, they don't even promote anymore features, but they just make the distinctions. This is the latest one. It's basically a fashion thing, and at this point, a mobile phone is a fashion thing, and you can tell if you have the latest or not by the design the color it's having, because the design is same for years. So as I said, everything seems to have been infected and infiltrated with this strange superficiality, and when you are really authentically interested in certain things but they don't correspond to the trends of that niche, you are basically rendered odd, I guess, or not cool. I don't know. I don't know how people at my age still try to play this game. Are you the cool kid? Are you a cool kid? Like, come on, I don't need to be a cool kid anymore. I'm not 5. I don't need validation from other people. I am who I am. I found my own self. I'm at that age where I validate myself. What suits me is the validation for me, not what people want me to, pretend to be. I mean, it's really so strange, because you would expect maturity and growing up, you find people who are on the same page, but it seems, and I don't want this to sound arrogant, that it's rarity. It's very difficult to find people who are truly themselves, and you can meet them and look in their eyes and hear them out, have a deep conversation with their soul. It's very difficult. I miss it. I like it. I like deep talks, deep conversations, digging into people's own soul, and it helps me to figure out about my own soul. But you cannot talk to a product, to somebody who was made, whose desires are synthetically manufactured and produced. Very difficult, and it just makes you very lonely. And I mean, lonely in a way. You spend times in books and then just doing your own things. You don't really have company in that sense that somebody can join that train of thought. But it doesn't mean you're lonely, but you just this kind of traits in you are not accompanied. if you are like me and you feel the pressure of the stream, I mean, the stream is there, you can feel it, you can sense it. Be yourself. I mean, it's such a cliche, be yourself, but every moment, every encounter outside, every little decision, what t-shirt you're gonna wear, the one that is accepted or the one that you really enjoy. And then, like me, I like to wear suspenders. I don't know, I just like that style, that vibe. And I see how people look, it's not common anymore. Sometimes I get like kind of admirable look, sometimes I get a laugh. But it's only a matter of time when somebody somewhere will make it famous, and then everybody will be walking with suspenders, and suddenly I'll be the cool kid. I really can't play these games. Like now, everybody has those curly hairs, right? The boys, they have like shaved hair on the sides and the curly hair on top. I mean, if you wore that, 6 years ago, you'd be a laughingstock probably by the same very people that wear it today. It's battle that I guess one won't stop ever. You'll always be choosing pleasing the world or pleasing you. That's really because you can't serve two masters at that thing. You either know why you're doing it, because I know it's challenging in some ways to be me, but it's so much more challenging not to be me at this point. So it's literally just picking my poison, and I don't find it as poisonous to be me as not to be me. It's not easy, it's challenging, but I mean, why should it be easy? Why should I expect some cheering? Who is his authentic Ibrahim? That's amazing. Like, who cares? Sometimes it comes with really approval, and sometimes it doesn't. You just do what suits you. Like, I know why I drive the car I drive. I like the way it's built. I like the engineering, the simplicity, the efficiency, the size. I know the advantages that I seek in that car, and no amount of people leasing cars that look more advanced and more, like when we were children, these boots that shine when you step in the shoes, and they're like flickering light. That's cars for me today. It's the same tactics. Like, you have completely normal shoes and they work, and then you have shoes with flickers, and that's what people are chasing, these flickering shoes. And I'm like seeing through the illusion of the flickering shoes not bringing any value, and that I guess makes me through like you become strange once you have your priorities set, I guess. Okay, thank you for tuning in, and hopefully it was interesting to listen. Bye.